book is called A Fine, Fine School by Sharon Creech. And this is the book that Trayvon picked out the last time we went to the library. Mr. Keene was a principal who loved his school. Every morning he strolled down the hallway and saw the children in their classes. He saw them learning shapes and colors and numbers and letters. He saw them reading and writing and drawing and painting. He saw them making dinosaurs and forts and pyramids. Oh, he would say, "Aren't these fine children? Aren't these fine teachers? Isn't this a fine, fine school?" Near Mr. Keene's school, Tilly lived with her parents and her brother and her dog, Beans, in a small house next to a big tree. On Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, Tilly went off to school. At school, Tilly learned her shapes and colors and numbers and letters. Sometimes, when she saw Mr. Keene standing in the hallway, he waved. "Ah, aren't these children fine?" he said to himself. "Aren't these fine teachers? Isn't this a fine, fine school?" On the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, Tilly climbed her favorite tree. "Ah, I'm stuck! Get help!" And she took Beans, her dog, on walks and threw him sticks. "Let go now, Beans." And she pushed her brother on a swing and tried to teach him how to skip. Be one with skipping. But on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, Tilly went off to school. Beans and her brother did not like to see her go. "Hurry, hurry, hurry home," her brother would call. One day, Mr. Keene called all the students and teachers together, and he said, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school on Saturdays too." Pause. Would you want to come to school on Saturday too? The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Saturdays. But no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers, of all the learning they were doing every day. And so, that Saturday, Tilly set off for school. "But it's Saturday! What about the swings?" her brother called. The following month, Mr. Keene announced, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school! From now on, let's have school on Sundays too." The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Sundays. But no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers and all of the learning that they were doing. And so, that Sunday, Tilly set off for school. "But it's Sunday. What about skipping?" her brother called. The following month, Mr. Keene called everyone together and said, "Oh no, I'm nervous. This is a fine, fine school. I love school. Let's have more school! From now on, let's have school on holidays too. On Easter and Ramadan and Thanksgiving and Christmas and Hanukkah. On all the holidays on every calendar. How do you think the teachers are feeling about this one? What do you think the kids think now? The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on holidays. But no one knew how to tell Mr. Keen that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers. Look, he made flags and signs and buttons, and they say, "School is cool, more school." And so, on Christmas, Tilly set off for school. "But it's Christmas! What about Christmas?" called her brother. The following month, oh no, Mr. Keen called everyone together and said, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school in the summer. All summer long, every single day." I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to do school in the summertime. "How much will we learn? We can learn everything," said Mr. Keen. "We will learn all about numbers and letters, colors and shapes, the Romans, the Egyptians, the Greeks. We will learn about dinosaurs and castles and everything. We will learn everything." Look at all their faces. The teachers and the students did not want to come to school in the summertime, or on Saturdays, or on Sundays, or on holidays. But no one knew how to tell Mr. Keen. He was so proud of the teachers and the children. And so, on the first day of summer, Tilly set off for school. "But it's summer! What about summer?" her brother called. And that day, Tilly went to see Mr. Keen. She stood in his office at his front desk. "Ah, what a fine, fine school this is," Mr. Keen said. "What amazing things everyone is learning." "Yes," Tilly said. "We certainly are learning some amazing things." "A fine, fine school," Mr. Keen said. "But," Tilly said, "not everyone is learning." Make a guess, a prediction, what you think she means. What's going to happen next? "What?" Mr. Keen said. He looked very worried. Who isn't learning? Tell me. I will see to it that they learn." "Well, my dog, Beans, hasn't learned how to sit," Tilly said. "And he hasn't learned how to jump over the creek." "Oh," said Mr. Keen. "And my brother hasn't learned how to swing or skip." "Oh," said Mr. Keen. "And I," she said. "But you go to school," Mr. Keen said. "To our fine, fine school." "True," Tilly said. "But I haven't learned how to climb very high in my tree. And I haven't learned how to sit in my tree for a whole hour." "Oh," Mr. Keen said. That day, Mr. Keen walked up and down the halls, looking at the children and the teachers. Up and down he walked, up and down, up and down. They don't look very happy. This boy's brushing his teeth at school. This one says, I miss you. It's from his parents. The next morning, Mr. Keene called everyone together. The children and the teachers were very worried. Mr. Keene said, "This is a fine, fine school with fine, fine children and fine, fine teachers. But not everyone is learning." The children and the teachers were very, very worried. Mr. Keene said, "There are dogs who need to learn how to sit and jump creeks." What did he mean? Was he going to make their dogs come to school now? There were little brothers and sisters who needed to learn how to swing and how to skip. What? What did he mean? Was he going to make their younger brothers and sisters come to school too? The children and the teachers were very, very worried. And you, all of you, children and teachers, you need to learn how to climb a tree and sit in it for hours, Mr. Keene said. The children and the teachers were very, very worried. He says, 20 minutes to go. And so, from now on, we will not have school on Saturdays or Sundays or holidays or in the summer. A huge, enormous roaring cheer soared up to the ceiling and floated out the windows so that everyone in town heard the fine, fine children and the fine, fine teachers shout, "Fine, fine, fine!" And the fine, fine children and the fine, fine teachers lifted Mr. Keene and they carried him down the hallway and out the doors and through the town, up and down, in and out. And everywhere they went, the people said, "What a fine, fine school with such fine, fine teachers and fine, fine children and a fine, fine principal." That was a great book. Thanks for picking that, Trayvon. I think this book is just like our school because we are a bunch of fine, fine teachers and fine, fine students. And even if we can't be at school every day, I'm grateful that we get to be online, we get to chat and message, and I get to read you books, even without seeing you. I miss you guys a ton.